Hey guys, this is going to be a recipe video for my homemade pizza calzone braided whatever you want to call it things. It's really good, just trust me. So I'm going to be using my homemade pizza dough for this. I found the recipe online. It's so good. It's the best pizza dough I've ever had. I'll link the recipe down below so you can check it out yourself. I will probably never buy like store-bought pizza dough or crust anymore. But if you want to do that, that's totally fine. Any dough will work for this. You can't buy like the pre-made crusts that are already kind of cooked. You're going to need like dough. So you can either buy this at the grocery store or make it yourself, or, you know, buy from a pizza shop or something like that. So first thing I'm going to do is, if you're wondering why it's in a bag, it's because it was frozen and I defrosted it earlier. So you're going to want to put down, plastic wrap rope, you're going to want to put down some flour onto a clean table or work surface. Well, that's not good. Well, okay. Technical difficulties. I think we're okay. It's still kind of cold, but it should be fine. Oh. Well, hopefully that doesn't end up on the pizza. So, you're going to throw it down, put some flour on it, and then honestly, you can probably just stretch it by hand. This dough is really cool that you don't need to put much effort into it. So you're not going to want to roll this out like a traditional round pizza. You're going to want to roll it into a rectangle. So something that's long but not very wide. So you can kind of shape it by hand and then use the rolling pin, which I've been flouring, to roll this out. So try to get it, I don't know, you don't want it like too thin or else it's not going to hold all your toppings in, but you want it to be probably about the same thickness as a pizza. It's just a different shape. So obviously you're going to need it to be small enough to fit on whatever you're going to cook it on. I'm just going to do this on a cookie sheet because that's the best option right now. So once you've got it rolled out to probably about that, oh, I don't know, I'm not good with 6 inches, 7 inches wide probably. You're going to want to cut it into strips, but not all the way through. So leave a little bit extra at the bottom, but you're going to come in and just, that's too much. Hold on. Cut strips. Because you're going to use these to fold over. And then same for the other side. Try to have an even number of strips on both sides. Or not even, but like the same number of strips. No, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, yeah, I got a couple more on that side. That's okay. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna want some space in the middle, which is where all your toppings are gonna go. So you can do whatever you want with this. I'm just gonna keep it relatively simple and do sauce, cheese, and pepperoni. But feel free to add whatever you want. If it spills over, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, and then I'm gonna add my cheese. Usually mozzarella is standard cheese pizza, but feel free to get fancy and do whatever kind of cheese your heart desires. add some pepperoni. Sorry about the noise, that's our washer going. Okay, so once you've done that, you're gonna want to fold this. So what I'm gonna do is try to close those seams a little bit, but fold up the bottom so it doesn't leak out the top. And then you can just kind of tuck those in. And then you're gonna start crossing these strips. They might not stick, that's okay. Just try to position them like this. And then you're gonna wanna preheat your oven to, I did 425 and then cook this thing for about 12 minutes. If you know your oven and how it cooks pizza dough, do whatever you want to do with that. But if you want a place to start, probably 4 to 450. And then I have an extra piece, so I'll just fold that over. And then this can just, actually, you know what? I'll do the same thing what I did with the other side. I'll fold this up to keep that in. And then I'll just kind of, it's okay if it's a little ugly, like no one's gonna care because it's gonna taste really good. And they're not gonna care if it looks kind of ugly. And then if you have a little bit leaking out the bottom, it's not that big of a deal. It'll kind of ooze onto your cookie sheet. So let me get that. Just so you don't get this thing sticking too bad, you might want to just spray it with some cooking spray. And then carefully transport your pizza braid to your cookie sheet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt some butter and throw some Italian seasoning in there and just rub it all over the top so it gets a really nice caramelized crust on top. I've mixed about a tablespoon of butter with some Italian seasoning and garlic powder. And now I'm just going to brush it on top of the pizza, or the calzone thingy, whatever you want to call it.
The creation.
The creation, yes. The delicious creation. You might need a little bit more, actually. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit more to finish up the end. So maybe like tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons, depending on how much dough you have or how much flavor you want, because I might add some more to the sides and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to do another tablespoon of butter, and then put it in the oven. It's preheating right now, so when it's done, I'll just throw it in for like 10, 12 minutes. Check on it so it doesn't burn, because that would be sad. So yeah. Here is the finished cooked braid that had a mind of its own and moved. So it was in there for pretty much 12 minutes. I checked it at 10 just to make sure it wasn't like done, and it needed a couple more minutes. So I took it out at 12, and as you can see, it's nice and golden brown, and it's pretty firm, not like hard, but you know, it's definitely got some nice crunch to it because of that butter. But I can tell it's gonna be like awesome because you can just kind of pull it apart and it'll just be so like, I don't know. If you like bread, this is really good pizza dough because it's so bready, but it's also got like a nice crunch on it from the butter. So yeah, we're gonna kind of slice this like this way to make little sections, probably inch and a half wide, or even 2 inches, depending on what you want to do. And yeah, I've made this before and I know it's really, really good, so I don't have to wait to tell you that. I highly recommend this. It is awesome, and as you can see, it didn't take that long to do. The only time-consuming part is the dough if you make it yourself, but if you buy it, it's not going to take that long. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!